there. My name is Suze, and I work with women to help them find balance between their internal masculine and feminine energies so that they can have lives that feel really emotionally fulfilling, full of love and connection. So, today I want to talk about what the heart of the divine feminine wants. And this video is kind of like piggybacking. I'm having trouble talking again today. I'm really excited about my messages, and so like internally I'm like rushing, but like externally I'm trying to speak clearly. And so it doesn't match up sometimes. Keeping it real here today. What the heart of the divine feminine wants. And this video is kind of like almost like a part two, piggybacking on the video I did prior to this one, talking about what or who are you aligning to. This is kind of like another way to look at it, and looking at it a little bit deeper and more into the divine feminine heart. And this is something that took me a bit to really fully come to the level of understanding that I'm currently at, the heart of the divine feminine. Another way to say it is your heart's desires, right? A few years ago, I used to love to have that as a hashtag, heart's desire. And that really resonated with me. And clearly it would with any feminine, because it's all about the heart space. Being in the feminine is all about the open hearted space, living from the heart space, breathing from the heart space, feeling all of that and working within that world of the heart space. That's so deeply feminine. Right? So obviously we do have to balance it out with the human aspect, with the masculine, obviously. But being a divine feminine, clearly we feel more at home in the ethereal world. We feel more at home in the emotional world, right? So what the heart of the divine feminine wants, what I'm trying to say here is very simple. Well, simple, not necessarily easy. Simple, not necessarily easy. Two very different words that sometimes get confused, I think, personally. I feel that sometimes for some of us feminines, divine feminines on this journey, we get confused about what our heart's desires actually are. I had a phone call a few days ago with one of my really dear close friends who's in my inner circle, and we were really hashing out some things for her. And we were talking about, and this is something I talk about often in my videos here on YouTube, we were talking about how as a feminine, as a woman, we naturally have such an instinctual thing to fixate on the other person, particularly in romantic relationships with men, right? We tend to hyper focus on the man and making sure he feels good, he feels comfortable, and kind of aligning with that instead of bringing the focus back in here. I've said it before in other videos. I will say it again here because it's so great. Generally speaking, women tend to have more of an anxious attachment style. An anxious attachment style is simply the avoidance of the self, anxiously attaching to someone else and therefore avoiding the self. Okay? All of that to say, coming back to the subject matter today, I have a feeling that for a lot of women, there is a confusion when we talk about what the heart wants or heart's desires. There's a confusion of looking outside of ourselves, attaching to something outside of ourselves, and thinking that that thing outside of ourselves is the heart's desire. And we get very specific on the physical manifestation, the physical concrete thing that you can touch and feel, getting fixated on that, thinking that is the heart's desire, and thinking that is what the heart wants. But what the heart actually wants isn't a physical thing or a person. What the heart actually wants is a specific state of being. What the heart actually wants is energies and emotions and feelings and a sense of home, not a physical home, but a home for your spirit and your soul and your heart to live and breathe and grow in. It's an environment. It's a state of being. And it is acknowledging your needs, your emotional needs and having them met, your energetic and emotional needs. It's not a physical thing. It's not a person. It is a state. It is having your emotional, physical, mental, whatever needs, your needs being met. And a lot of times, the needs of a divine feminine are an emotional kind of environment. Back to that again. So, all of that to say, when you think about following your heart, right? Or when someone says that, oh, you just got to follow your heart or listen your heart or heart's desires or what does your heart want? What is your heart telling you? It's not attachment. It's not attachment. That's the key word, attachment here. The heart wants love. It's not the attachment to the physical representation, the thing you can see with your human eyes see out there. What the heart actually wants and where the heart is actually leading you is about you and what you need to be the biggest version of you. So it's like uppercase L, not lowercase l, the human L, the uppercase L, divine sacred love. Okay? What do I need? Now, this gets really murky sometimes because a lot of us have a tendency to not be honest about our needs or to have some kind of shame around our needs or to just not really take the time to even understand what our needs are and maybe think that we're asking for too much or think that we are too intense or we're too sensitive or we're too emotional. And that's going to get you in dangerous territory of looping back around to attaching to a specific thing instead of the energies that you actually need to be supported. That's the big word here. What needs do I have that would support me in being in the state of being that I want to be radiating out to the world? Radiant, expansive, flowing and free, blissed out, I like to say. What do I need to be in that state of being? Again, that high, think of that high vibing kind of a thing there. The high vibe, goddess, high priestess energy. What do I need? That's what the heart wants. So what you need at one point of your journey is going to be different than what you need at another part of your journey because the spiritual journey is just like the human. It reflects very similarly to the human journey. And what you need when you're 2 years old are not the same needs that you need when you're 5 years old. And when you're 5 years old, the needs that you have are not the same as what you need when you're 15 or 25 or 40, whatever. You get the point. It's the same with your own personal journey, your growth journey, your spiritual journey. What you need as an infant in your journey is not the same as what you need as you're an adolescent or then as an adult, you're middle-aged, and as you're older. It's different. So you have to constantly reflect and be honest with what your needs are and not say that you're asking for too much or that, I should be able to do this on my own kind of a thing. And again, I'm not saying that in a codependent kind of way. Do not misunderstand me. Not saying that in a codependent kind of a way. But we all have needs and we all have our journey that has brought us to where we are to have the specific needs that we have. And you can't align with people, no matter how much you might want it to work with a particular person, if they're not able to meet you with where you are and your story and your needs, then it's simply not meant to be. So your heart does not actually want that person. Your heart wants your needs to be met. Your heart wants to feel fully supported and loved and real with what you do need right now that would enable you to be the fuller, expansive, higher you on your higher timeline or highest timeline, however you want to take that. That's really where it's at. It's the energies What are the energies that my heart is craving? How can I surround myself with those things now? Where can I find those energies and those feelings with what I already have? That thought right there goes back to a video I did. The feminine energy does not wait, because it's never waiting. If you're waiting, you're in a sense of lack. Something's missing, right? If you're waiting for something, you're therefore saying subconsciously, something's missing, something's lacking from my current scenario. So feminine energy never waits. It's not about waiting. It's about taking what you have, being grateful for what you have, learning to juice out every little bit of juice from what you do have that gives you those feelings and the energies you want, and then welcoming in more from the universe from there. I hope this video helped. Please do